Alright, Shalom. Before I begin this video, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. They continue to rule very well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect that is also doing this work, and spreading this gospel to the other members of the hopeful elect in all faith, true sincerity, while giving all diligence. Now, this video is going to be an in-depth look at the word emancipation, or emancipate. Basically is a response to Apostle Elder Gabar's video, which he recently put up on the GMS Walk and Talk 8 channel concerning Abraham Lincoln. Now, I'm gonna get straight to the point, man. Concerning you Jake, you so-called Negros, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So out of all the Edomites that you have seen throughout history, all the way back during the time of slavery, because guess what, man? When you had the former presidents, like George Washington, and the rest, guess what, man? They own slaves, man. All right, and then you have Jake that sit here and think that out of all those Edomites that was in the presidential seat, Abraham Lincoln would just have a change of heart. It doesn't work like that, man. Esau's hatred is deeply rooted, man. That goes back into the book of Genesis chapter 25, man. You go back into that scripture about the birth of Jacob and Esau. The Lord said that we're going to be separated, man. All right, we're not going to be equal to each other. All right, we're not going to be hand in hand. We're not going to be the same people. The Lord specifically divided us, Jacob and Esau, which are Israel and Edom, for a very good reason, man. And it actually goes deeper than Genesis, where it speaks about when they were both born. All right, because that's dealing in reincarnation, man. All right, which Lord will, I'll do that in another video. But the point is that we were meant to be separated, man, and we were meant to hate each other. All right, it's already been written, man. The Lord made specifically the way we're going to hate each other. We're going to hate each other for generations to us like it. He pretty much said we're going to hate each other forever, man. All right, because guess what, man? When that time comes, when Esau goes into slavery, after he serve his slavery, man, he's not going to be, he's not going to be established on the earth anymore. Because after he served his time, then he's going to be completely done away with, man. No more Edomites. Okay? Because that hatred that's between us and them, us being Jacob and them being Esau, right, which Esau represents the so-called white man, that hatred also pertains to the Most High, man, because the Most High hates them. All right? And the Most High loves Jacob. All right, going to the book of Romans 9:13, man, it tells you that. Going to the book of Malachi chapter 1, starting at verse 1 and read on down, then it tells you that the Lord has a love and hate he has a love for one nation, which is the nation of Israel, and he has hatred towards another nation, which is the nation of Edom. All right. So after all that, like I said before, you pretty much have this one Edomite, come out of the woodwork and say, well, I'm going to abolish slavery. It doesn't, like I said before, man, that's a straight up falsehood, man. That's a straight up lie. Because Jake like to come with that excuse saying, well, Abraham Lincoln done away with slavery. We can do whatever we want. I mean, the thing is that, look, man, you're here in America, right? So you're telling me that you can pretty much leave this place and go, go somewhere else without having any sort of permission or a certificate or something, allowing you to leave the soils of America. All right, that's another thing, man. You have a license, you have an ID, you have a social security number, you got a passport, international passport. All right, you got to have these things in order to have permission to operate in society and to lead this place, which is called America, man. That lets you know that you're still in slavery, man. So the word emancipation doesn't mean a freeing of the slaves, because they got it here in the etymology about the word emancipate, right? Saying set free from control, which it doesn't mean that, man. All right, it doesn't mean set free from control, man. It simply means, and I'm gonna break it down in a little bit. It just simply means that it's a transfer. All right, it's a transfer, or it's basically that's it, man. Transfer, for lack of a better term. Now, that's as simple as you can get, man. It just basically means a transfer. It doesn't mean to set free or to set free from control or set free from slavery. All right. Now, this is the word emancipate, which I got in front of me here in the etymology. Right here, like I said before, they got it here as set free from control, man, which it doesn't mean that, man. All right. So if you go further down, let's see if I can find a good point to start out with. Let's see. Okay, so this is the part where they go off at. Now you see the word where it says X, as into X, which means out or away. All right. Which, let's say, oh well, this is from X, so it might as well say, yeah, it is. They pretty much use X to say to set free. Pertains to the rest of the words that make up emancipate, but the word X is not in there. All right, it says emancipate. The first two letters, which is EM, which let's see if I can get that real quick. Yeah, so the first two letters, EM, right? Now it says a word forming element, meaning put in or into, bring to a certain state. So it doesn't mean to take out or away, as they put here in the previous in the previous page that I got up right now, where it says X. All right, so it says emancipare, right? Now we read the word M, right, which means to put into. Okay, so to put into plus emancipare, which means to deliver, transfer, or sell. All right, and then you have from pyru, man, which means hand. All right, so in other words, when you go into this word emancipate and you break it down, it means simply transfer from one form of slavery to another. All right, as it says right here, as I brought up in the previous definition concerning EM, which means to put into, and then emancipare means to transfer or sell, and then the hand, then man, which goes into hand. All right, or it goes into another pi root, which is from cap, means to grass. All right, so it was never a setting free of the slaves, man. It's just a transfer from one slavery to another. All right, so it was transferred from the hard bondage from being corporate slaves. All right, because guess what? Like I brought an example concerning the license and the ID and the permits, passports. In order to live and to operate in this society which we live in, man, you have to work. All right, and who are you working for? The so-called white man. Esau, you're working for the Rothschilds, man. I'll put a name on it. You're working for the Rothschilds, man. You're working for the international banking families. That's who you're working for, man. All right. So you're still in slavery, man. Abraham Lincoln, who you revere as to free you from slavery, all he did was just transfer you to another form of slavery. That's all he did, man. All right. There's no light in these devils, man. All right. And yeah, the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. There's no light in these devils, man. All right. So you, like I said before, man, you think out of all these Edomites, you think one good Edomite. All right. That's the Uncle Tom nigga for you, man. Or should I say niggards. All right. Now, reading on this definition of emancipate. Now, look what they got down here. It says, not used by the Romans in reference to the freeing of slaves. So, back then, when there was even when they used the word, or the Latin word of the word emancipate, they didn't use it in reference to freeing of slaves, man. All right. It means something completely different. Now, continuing on, it says the verb for this being manumittere. All right, which that's not the word that's going into in this definition, man. Okay. And let's see. It said the English word was adopted. Now listen, the English word was adopted in the jargon of the cause of religious toleration, then anti-slavery, also used in reference to women who freed themselves from conventional customs. So the English word emancipate was adopted, right, in order to in other words, Esau is using play on words. All right, because you have a thing called newspeak. All right. That's why in the law, if a Jake goes into court, right, 9 times out of 10, he's not going to know, what certain words mean. They might use certain words in the court, and that's how Esau gets you too, man. All right. It said, whatever you say shall be used against you in the court of law, because they have an extensive vocabulary on how words are used. So they'll actually trap you up by you even speaking, man. You may use certain words, and that's how they get you. Okay, just like the word emancipate, it's a play on word, man. In which they use that and say, okay, I'm gonna use this word as an Emancipation Proclamation. All right, and they use that in the legislation, and you Jake thinking that it means to free you from slavery, man, when it really doesn't mean that. All right, like I said before, man, it's newspeak, and you still got newspeak to this day, man. All right, like the word gay, they use that word for homosexual, which back then the word gay meant happy. All right, but that's just one of many examples of newspeak. Okay. So that pretty much breaks down the word emancipate. Like I said before, it doesn't mean freeing the slaves. It just simply means to transfer from one slavery to the next, man. Okay. So with that, let's see. Where was I? Okay. Now I want to get the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy. Who's our enemy? the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, the Edomites. Those are our enemies, man. All right. That's why Jacob and Esau were fighting in the womb of Rebekah. All right. Verse 11. That's like it. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right. Because you know anything about iron rusting, you know you can't fix a rusted piece of iron, man. The only option for a rusted piece of iron is for you to get rid of it. Okay. So it said, for iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So his wickedness is not going to be rubbed out or fixed. It's going to be deeply rooted within him, man. Okay. It said, verse 11 said, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass. Right, because when you really get down to it, and you really get into the inner workings of these Edomites, they're full of darkness, man, wickedness. There's no good in them. All right, because Esau will humble himself and go crouching, like the scriptures say. He'll humble himself down and deceive you with sweet words, and then meanwhile he lays in wait for you to get destroyed. All right. That's why it says in the same precept or same verse that yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass. Thou shalt know that its rust hath not been altogether wiped away. All right. So it's like like I said before, if you go into the inner workings of these Edomites, you'll realize that their wickedness hasn't all been wiped away, man. All right. Like it says right here, man, like if you wipe a looking glass, right, you'll know that rust, which that rust represents that wickedness, you'll see that rust has not been altogether wiped away. All right. In other words, it's that wickedness is not gone away. It's always going to be there. All right. Once again, going to rust. You know how rust, you can't fix rust. There's nothing you can do that can fix rust. Okay, it's always going to be there. So that just lets you know that this guy Abraham Lincoln, which Lincoln is not even his real last name. So now you know that this guy Abraham Lincoln wasn't for you Jake, man. You so-called, especially you so-called Negroes, man. All right, he was a straight up racist like the rest of these other presidents that were set up back during that time, even up until now, man. That same wickedness and that same hatred is still rooted within these Edomites to this day. So with that, hopefully y'all can edify with this video. Lord's will, I made the point very clear to where it could be understood. I broke it down as simple as I could, man. And it's just now it's on the rest of you people, and I'm talking about you, Jake. And really, this is only for the election, man. Because the election, 144,000 is the only one's gonna understand. Okay, so with that, man, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continually rule very well. Peace and safety to the hopefully elect that is also pushing out this word headstrong, man. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom.